Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. Welcome to another PlayStation review. Today's review is for Before We Leave. Now this is me playing it on the PlayStation 5, but it is also available on the PlayStation 4. Now Before You Leave is a city building simulation type game. And as you know guys, if you follow my content, you know that this is right up my street. I'm a big fan of city building type games. I find them to be incredibly relaxing if they're done right. And the big question is this done right? Well, we shall go into a little bit more detail. Now, this was priced at around £15 in the UK, which I thought was a pretty decent price point for this game. And what you get with this game is, well, as you can see in regards to how the game looks, aesthetically, it actually does a pretty decent job. Initially, your first impressions aren't great. It does feel a little bit basic, especially when you zoom in. There's not a great deal of detail on the people within your population, things like that. But it's got a real charm of its own, and it does kind of grow on you. And when you consider the price point here, I think they've done a pretty decent job. But it does everything that you would expect it to. Now, with this being a city builder type game, it follows a particular familiar pattern, which may be an advantage or a disadvantage. If you're looking for a game here that's going to innovate or do something new with this genre, then unfortunately you're probably going to be disappointed. This doesn't actually do anything really different or stand out from the crowd, I suppose. It pretty much does what you expect a city building game to do. Now, essentially, you start off, the story really is, not that there really is a story, but you have been underground for a long, long time. You come up from underground to kind of rebuild your society. It's not necessarily set on Earth, although it's not specific where it's set. So you come up from the ground and you start building your city and your society. So you will start doing things small, like building huts to live in, wood cutting huts, exploring huts, wells, farms, all this kind of stuff. So you start with the really, really basic stuff, and then you start expanding by building mines, and then eventually you can get to the point where you can start building a ship. You can repair a ship and then start exploring the world to colonize other islands within this world. And as you explore, as you expand and get onto other islands, you will do what you do in all these games, and you will research new technology by building libraries in order for you to research new technology so that you can expand your colonies, build better things like your mines, and you can research things like clothing, different ways to farm, all the usual stuff you can expect. And as your society progresses in regards to its technological advances, then you can upgrade your buildings to make them more modern. You can make your equipment more modern, your technology more modern, so on and so forth. Well, the ultimate goal really here is there are a number of planets that you can expand your colonies to. So once you have done everything you can do on this one planet, you get to a point when you can you'll find like a crashed space rocket on one of the islands, and you can then research that to get all the stuff that you need and repair it, so that you can then leave the planet and start colonizing other worlds. And it's kind of rinse and repeat by doing that, by constantly upgrading, constantly evolving your society and your technology, so on and so forth. So if all that sounds pretty familiar to you, if you play these sort of games, then and it's something that is appealing to you, then you're going to really enjoy this game. I'm not going to lie, guys, I found this game to be really addictive. It's got the usual addictive gameplay loop that you expect in a game like this. It's very, very easy to play and pick up. It's one of those games that you can leave it on. I think you can speed it up to 4 times the speed if you want to move things through really quickly, or you can turn it on to speed 1 and just let your society tick along very slowly, very nicely. Listen to a little bit of music in the background, all this kind of stuff. It's really, really chilled out. There's no voice acting at all. When you kind of zoom in, you can kind of hear your society kind of mumbling and chatting away, but you can't make the words out. It's very much like the old Lego games used to be, where or Sims games, with the mumbling and stuff. So you can tell there's chatter going on, but you'd no idea what is being said. And the game will play like this pretty cheerful, almost medieval type music, over the top, and that never really changes. It's either going to get on your nerves or it's going to chill you out, really, the music. To be honest, I got to the point where I didn't really hear the music anymore. I was just kind of concentrating on my society. And at one point, I was even like listening to music and things like that while they were playing it. It's just that kind of game, really, that you can just put on for a couple of hours, expand your society a little bit, grow it, upgrade a few houses, put a few warehouses down, research a few more technologies, and just make your colonies function that little bit better. I really like the fact as well that once you start moving to other islands in these worlds, you're going to build ports and ships, and then you can transfer resources between these islands on these different planets. So if one island has got a better resource than the other, you can always set up shipping lanes. For example, one island might not have a very good source of, I don't know, steel or something like that. Or you set up one island that's got a really good, prosperous line of clothing for your peeps, which is what they call them in this game, I believe. So you can then transport items of clothing to another island on your colony, and so on and so forth. Because some will be better equipped on those islands than others, but you can set up the shipping lanes so that everybody has everything that they need on all the islands, and then it's like I say, you rinse and repeat, and then expand and grow and move off planet and move on to the next one. So it's really a lot of fun, this game, if this is your sort of game. In regards to what it offers, I think for the price point, it's exactly what you want it to do. It doesn't go beyond that. It is basically exactly what it says on the tin. It ticks all the boxes if you're into these sort of games, but it definitely does not add anything new to the genre. It's really relaxed gameplay, it's very familiar, and it's got a pretty decent tutorial as well. There are a couple of times early on where the tutorial was telling me to do something, but I just couldn't figure out what I should be doing. So it's not always prescriptive. You've got to be a little bit patient early on. But if you play a lot of these games, you'll figure it out fairly quickly. There's very few instances when I've played this that I've been what you would describe as stuck. You do eventually figure it out. It might take you just a few minutes to really understand what the tutorial's telling you to do. So it does hold your hand to a certain degree, this game as well, and I found it really, really fun to play. This is one that I will be returning to. I love city builder games. They're very, very popular, and this one is definitely one I think that you should check out if you're into these sort of games. So I'm going to give this one a pretty strong 8 out of 10, and that's because the price point I think is just right. It's a very, very chilled experience, and it's very easy to pick up and play and learn how to play as well. So I hope you enjoyed this review, guys. I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching, and of course I'll be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.